You're listening to Operation Self Reset, episode 177. Let's get stupid, people! What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake and Rocky, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the heartland of the USA. If you're tuning in from around the world, thank you. Buenos dias, grazie, all the language that I don't know. I'm not laughing at the different languages. I'm laughing because I am a typical silly American that only knows really one language. The second language would be Spanish. I took that back in high school, really wasn't excelente in it, and so I just continue to dominate the English language and botch it up as much as I can. So today is speaking about messing up different ideas and not knowing different languages, aka stupid. Now, this I would say is the most unique, the most criticized title I have ever put out. I've always thought about my titles and how they present to the world, but for once, I'm embracing the stupid. Yes, stupid is what stupid does. That's what they say. But today we're going to step deep into what is stupid and how do we make sure that we live a silly and stupid life. Now, if you're willing to turn this off and delete it, stop. I'm not going to get too deep into why you and I are stupid. It's what we should embrace about stupid that will enhance our life. So before we get into that, let's do what we do best. It's called the awesome sauce. Is where we stand in a position of power and we scream, I'm freaking awesome at the top of our lungs. We do this for courage, confidence, and that commitment to ourselves to live to that higher self. And the way that we do that, we stand in a position of power. We stand with our chest out, shoulder blades back, arms overhead, chin up, eyes looking towards the vision of thyself. And if you are sitting in your car, you're working out, you're doing something silly, unlike us that are standing in a position of power, I want you to lock that steering wheel. I want you to clench your body. I want you to tighten up, and I want you to feel that body squeezing and pulsating for the awesomeness that we have within. So here we go. We're gonna scream, I'm freaking awesome on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm freaking awesome! Yes! Right now, I am daddy daycare style. Kids are napping. I'm doing a solo episode in the office here. So if the kids are screaming in the background, I'm not stopping people because this is your time to take your vitamins for the brain to enhance yourself just 1%, to change that trajectory 1 degree, 1 minuscule to a better and new you. All of us want to be better in the 5 core areas. And what are those core areas I spoke about? You know, we all want it all, right? We want it in our body or our health of our body, the health of our mind. We want it in our business or our work. We want it in our relationships. We want it to be in our connection with a spiritual being of gods or universes or nature or thyself. And of course, us, me and you, just improving ourselves, figuring out what is it that we need to do to get ourselves towards that quote-unquote happy place. So with that being said, we got our 5 ideas of having it all. Now let's dive into the topic of being stupid. Now, what is the definition of stupid? Now you're thinking, what the heck, Jake? This has nothing to do with personal development. All right, hear me out, people. Just hear me out. Stupid basically is the standard definition. Now, I mean, you can look online, you can look on your phone, you can look anywhere. There's going to be different definitions. The definition I got is basically stating this: lacking intelligence and or common sense. Stupid means that you're lacking intelligence and or common sense. Now, if you were to take that definition and place it on somebody or something, there's a lot of things that we quote-unquote say. Oh, that's stupid. He or she's stupid. That was a stupid idea. Oh, that was a stupid mistake. And we say stupid all the time in our life. Now, of course, that is a very negative word, right? We don't want to say that word in a way that degrades our self-esteem, our self-confidence of us being the person that we strive to when we keep on reminding ourselves of how stupid we are, how dumb we are, and all that stuff. It's a negative word, right? And in a couple of podcasts, I said that for every time that we have a negative idea or a negative word, we should compound it with 1, 2, 3 positive words, right? So if I say, oh man, Jake, that was really stupid, then I say, no, I'm awesome, I'm confident, and I'm committed, right? To wash out that silly word called stupid. But today, might as well just talk about it. The whole reason for this is basically stating this. Successful people throughout history don't avoid stupid, they lean into it. They don't plan, they literally take action. They don't plan, they take action. And sometimes those ideas are stupid, right? Now, let's go through the history books here. Now, there are, man, where does the list of great inventors ends? I don't know, but I'm going to rattle these guys off. Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, Alexander Graham Bell, Leonardo da Vinci, the Wright Brothers, Tim Burns, Alexander Fleming. All these guys have done something that has absolutely changed the way that you and I live our life today. Absolutely 100 million %. To go a little bit deeper, I read the book about the Wright brothers. Amazing biography on these two guys. Dedicated, hardcore. They grew up in Dayton, Ohio. They started a bicycle shop. They were very good at the craft of selling bicycles. Now, back in the day, that was the main way that individuals got around the city. They jumped on their bike. They went to the store. They came back home. All that stuff. Cars and automobiles were popular at the time, but again, that was very, very expensive. So bicycles were still the very, very cheap way for people to get around. Well, these guys started kind of listening to the news, and the big thing that was going on was these military contracts of these quote-unquote inventors stating that they could fly, that they could build something to fly. And so the Wright brothers were nothing more than curious and thought to themselves, well, these guys are quote-unquote saying that they know how to fly. They don't, because there hasn't been an airplane yet. They're getting these, at the time, tens of thousands of dollars for these military contracts. And they thought, well, why not us? We're pretty creative guys. So they started studying birds and the way the birds flew and the way that birds, kind of tilted their wings in air and the way that they swooped and they moved. And from there, they built, obviously, prototype after prototype. And they ran with the airplane, and then it crashed. And, of course, it was made out of, like, tarp and canvas. And it wasn't tarps, because tarps were not invented back then. Canvas and wood. And obviously, when you would crash, the canvas and wood would tear and break. They would bring it back into the shed, and they would rebuild it. And it took months and years for these individuals, these Wright brothers. Now, along that journey, wouldn't you agree that these Wright brothers would come home from a long day's work, and their wife or their spouse, and the person that was close to them most was their sister, would ask, oh, what did you guys do today? What, how many sales did you get? And they walked through the door one day and they said, you know what, sis, we got some crazy idea, but we're going to be the first individuals to create and build a machine that can fly in the air. Now, what do you think that sister said? Oh, boy, I'm so proud of you. I knew you would do something miraculous for this world. The world needs you. Go out there and go and do it. No way. Come on. There's no way. That sister was like, what? Are you guys drinking again? Seriously. You have been drinking? Okay. This is getting ridiculous. Saying you're going to build a flying machine, you guys need to get sober here, shape up. We got some bikes to build. That's probably how the conversation went, right? Of course, she probably said, you guys are stupid. The neighbors, the local community probably said, you guys are stupid. But look at how stupid they are now, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, Jake, that's so obvious, right? I mean, they built something, that changed the world. We go on airplanes. I mean, you can fly, for me, for example, I'm going to be flying from Milwaukee to Dallas. It's about a 2-hour flight for $150 round trip. $150. Can you believe that? $150. The Wright brothers couldn't even fathom thinking to charge that cheap, or fathom to even imagine that you can fly somewhere for 2 hours in an airplane with all the fuel, all the communication, the technology, the attendants, the luggage, the baggage carriers, the carousel that's needed to get my baggage from the airplane to the airport. All these pieces for $150. I mean, I could go out to dinner for $150. Now, I'm not a baller or anything like that, but I'm just saying, if you put it in perspective, like, wow, unbelievable. The Wright brothers have absolutely changed the trajectory of the world. They have connected all of us, from shipping things in for us to go visit things or to go try new things, whatever the case may be, these Wright brothers have absolutely changed our world. Now, again, they were considered quote unquote stupid for even trying this. Because the journey for them to get from point A, which is basically thinking about the aircraft, just thinking like, okay, like I don't even know what does this thing look like? Like how do you even build something that flies? And they where do you start, right? To point B, which was they built it and it flew and they could circle and swoop and they could take passengers up in the airplane. That was quite the journey. But we don't see it like that. We just know Wright Brothers created a machine that flew, and it worked really well, and they were great. Because we were not in it, we don't think they're stupid. We think they're brilliant. But the people that were there, that were caught within that world at that time, consider them quote-unquote stupid. A couple other people that individuals thought they were stupid. My main guy, the guy I love, that's you probably know of him, Elon Musk, right? He's the guy behind Tesla Motor Company who builds amazing cars that are 100% battery powered. And then you got his second company, which is SpaceX, where he is basically privatized the space industry, move over NASA, and he is basically contracted by NASA to ship out goods to the space station. His ultimate goal is to land on Mars and to explore Mars and everything like that. He has created a spaceship that went up into space, orbited around for a couple minutes, came back down, and it didn't crash into the ocean. It didn't fall apart. It actually landed vertical on a moving platform in the middle of the ocean. This platform was basically a barge that had a landing area, and the space rocket basically came back down from space and landed itself vertical, no damage. Besides fuel, that was the only cause of irritation. Now, of course, it was a test run, so there was probably some broken things, but overall, I would say it's a huge, huge success. He was interviewed by 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes asked him a couple of cool questions. They said, hey, you made your money from PayPal because he was an original investor and creator of PayPal. He got all this money, $100 million, and he decided to invest it in Tesla Motor Company and then, of course, SpaceX. And he said, the hardest part for me, now this is Elon talking, the hardest part for me was to tell my friends about what I was planning to do. Everybody was saying, just live it up, travel, relax, all that stuff. You earned it. And he was thinking, no, there's so much more to do in this world, and I have the means to do it. So he put all of his money out there. He spent every last dollar, and all of his money was basically spent on SpaceX. Tesla was a company that he got a lot of funding for. He invested a lot of money, but he had a lot of backers. SpaceX was so radical that nobody really wanted to invest with him. So he poured all of his money into SpaceX, and when he finally got his engineers together, they created the first space rocket. They decided to do a test launch. The test launch went horrible. It blew up, all that stuff. Second launch, brand new spaceship. Launches it. As it's going up into space, blows open, rips apart, all that stuff. Third one, same thing. Shoots up into space. It tears apart, blows up. And it wasn't until that fourth one where he literally said to himself that if this fourth one blows up, he's out of the game. He's calling it quits. The fourth one went up in space, orbited, everything went fine, came back down to Earth. Huge, huge win, huge victory. That's where he got the momentum. Millions and millions and millions of dollars came pouring in from investors, giving him money, saying, yes, you finally did it. You privatized the space industry. It's no more just ran by governments and stuff like that. Again, these individuals called him stupid, but yet look at him now. He's absolutely crushing it in the world of automobiles and privatizing space. The next guy, Chris Rock. Chris Rock, again, he goes out there, we know him as the magical comedian that he is, but he didn't start off that way, right? He went into low-end comedy clubs, and he said some jokes that absolutely failed. A lot of people considered him a very poor comedian. They said his jokes are stupid. He's stupid. The way he presents is stupid. All that stuff. Look at him now. You got Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz is the individual behind Starbucks. Howard Schultz went to Italy. He saw what the local community was doing. They went to these quote-unquote bar restaurants and basically got coffee and just sat around and talked and hung out. And he wanted to replicate that and brought it over to the United States. He did, but he went a little too extreme. His menu was in Italian. Some of it was in Italian. The restaurant or the coffee shop was, the waiters and waitresses had, bow ties and they were dressed to the nines, and they had opera music playing in the store. And of course, nobody came in. They walked on into the store and they go, this is stupid. I don't want to sit here, drink coffee, and listen to opera music. This is ridiculous. And as you can see, over time, he perfected the Starbucks model, and literally, they're all over the place. It doesn't matter where you are. There is a Starbucks close to you. And the last guy, Ed Catmull, which is I believe he was the creator or founder of Pixar. Pixar Movies is a movie company here in the States that produces a lot of kids' movies, from anything from Toy Story to WALL-E. And WALL-E, for example, one of his biggest creations, it had the most technology, the most energy behind it. That movie in particular had over 98,000 storyboards. 98,000 storyboards. What's a storyboard? Storyboard is nothing more than a board of sequence of how the movie is going to lay out. And obviously, by the more the storyboards there are, that means the uncertainty, the confusion, the not a good idea that movie was, but yet when it came out, it was a mega, mega hit. Now, all these individuals, plus billions of people more in the world, have been called stupid at some point. And these individuals, now that you know their names and know their history, would you look at the Wright Brothers and consider them the definition of stupid, lacking intelligence and or common sense? No, by no means. By no means. And you can go down the gamut from Thomas Edison to Leonardo da Vinci, to all these guys. Would you consider them stupid? No, you don't, because you see the result. But behind the result, you don't see the trial and the error, the turbulence, the issues, the mental struggle for them to continue perfecting their craft. And so for us, we need to embrace stupid a little bit more. Now, what do I mean by that? You and I have dreams and ambition of wanting to do great things in this world. Earlier, I talked about the 5 areas that we all strive for, right? Our body, our business, our relationships, our connection to ourselves, to God, to the universe, and of course, figuring out ourselves. And these 5 areas really boil down to, how stupid do you want to be within each one of those areas? Now, again, that's a very harsh word, a very negative word, but think of it into the terms of these individuals that I just talked about. You got Elon Musk, Chris Rock, Howard Schultz, Ed Catmull, you got, Thomas Edison, all these great inventors, all that stuff. These guys were considered stupid too. Okay, so we see how stupid relates to those guys, right? I mean, they're awesome individuals, but how does it relate to us, you and I? There's 2 ways to look at it. One side of the coin is this, the reflection on others. We call people stupid. Just like, oh, that's a stupid idea to go traveling. Oh, that's stupid to spend your money like that. Oh, I wouldn't invest in going to that workout place. That's dumb. That's way too much money. I can go work out in my basement, And we use that as a deterrent. We use that as our shield to protect our own emotions, to protect our own confidence, our own self-esteem, our own well-being. And we put down other people with that word stupid because what they are doing is something that we don't feel comfortable with. Because, as in a moment here, there's these 4 ideas that always generate when we think of stupid. Now, before I talk about those 4 ideas, let's talk about it, how it relates to us, right? When it reflects on us, like when we think something is dumb, like internally, like don't act on that's dumb, it's ridiculous, starting a podcast or doing something unique with my kids or taking them on a trip when maybe it's not the right time. We kind of go through these different ideas, and the ideas are kind of nothing more than this. Number 1, there's 4 main criteria when we start to negotiate with our time when it comes to an idea or an actionable step that we know we should take, but yet for some odd reason we don't. The first is no time. We don't have the time to do it, right? We're so busy. There's no way. I got 2 kids, and my wife works, and I come home, and I'm exhausted, and I just want to relax, and all that stuff. And on the weekends, I got to clean up and do housework. There's no time. There's no way I can make that happen. The second idea is education. I don't have the education. Never went to school for it. I'm not trained on it. I don't know how to go about it. The third idea is experience. Kind of the same thing about education. Well, I don't know where to start. How do I begin? Nobody told me how to do this. And the last one is money, the financial burden, right? And we all blame something on money. I can't do that. That'd be stupid. Go to Hawaii for 10 days. I'd love to, but that's just dumb. I don't have the money to invest in something like that. And so we use these 4 different negotiating tools against ourselves to make sure that we are comfortable. And that comes back to that doubt man that sits inside of all of our brains that negotiates on what we do, how we do it, and how we react in the world. And too many of us are caught up in this person that sits inside of our brain. That person controls us, but that's not the truth. Because you and I, we talk to ourselves more than anybody else, more than anything else in the world. You and I talk to ourselves all the time. We negotiate, we sit down, we have these long discussions, we analyze, we criticize, we think about, we debate on all these things, from the smallest idea to the biggest ideas that we deal with. And negotiations happen because of emotion. And when emotion comes on in, we usually link it to an experience that we see other people doing, we consider stupid, because if we go into that experience with them, like skydiving, for example, we could get injured, we could get hurt, we're going to lose money, we're going to lose time, all those things, so we think it's stupid. Then when it comes to ourselves, and we have this brilliant idea, a brilliant way to go about something, we think of those same criteria. Well, to do that, to change up my work shelf would take forever. Or I don't know how to hang a bookshelf. Or I've never been trained in woodworking, so I can't make my own stuff. And it's going to take a lot of money. I got to buy the tools and all that stuff. And you can see how these examples. Now, the hard part for me is always to think of these examples, but what I should do is to isolate one idea instead of me just flippantly going through 10,000 ideas. So I guess that's something I need to work on personally. But you understand though, right? You get these ideas. No time, no education, no experience, no money. That's what we think, quote unquote, stupid is, internally and externally, for the people that are doing things. Now, if you really to really boil it down, to go about it, you need to think of it like this. Stupid not acted upon equals future regret. I'm going to say that over. Stupid not acted upon equals future regret. Now, of course, you're thinking, well, not everything I do or not everything I encounter I need to jump on, Jake. There's no way. I mean, it's impossible. But the big but in the the big but is this, people. There are things that you should do, but you let that doubt man negotiate your feelings on the way that you perceive that situation. And somehow, some way, you think of one of those 4 ideas. You don't have the time, you don't have the experience, the education, or you don't have the money. And for me, a perfect example, which I spoke of just a couple seconds ago, was this. Skydiving. 2 buddies went out for a birthday kind of thing, when they turned 31, they wanted to go skydiving. Here in Milwaukee area, so it wasn't like I had to jump on a plane, go somewhere unique. And I was like, man, I'd love to. And I'm like, how much is it? It's like $250, but it's going to be awesome. They tape it for you, all that stuff. And what was going on inside of my mind? I was negotiating. And I was thinking to myself, it would be really cool to do. But my emotions kicked on in, and I thought to myself, well, with skydiving, I could get hurt. And so I didn't want to blame it on I was going to get hurt, so I blamed it on what? I blamed it on the time. No, it's going to take too long because it's like a half a day. You got to go through a course and a class. And then the money. $250, I could put that towards something else, all that stuff. But now, the future me, do I regret it? Oh, yeah. 100%. I regret it, not every day, but I regret it when I think about it. I always think that was a missed opportunity right there. That was a missed opportunity. Why? Because I had the chance to bond with 2 close friends. I had the chance to challenge myself emotionally and physically to strap myself to another person and jump out of a plane. All those things I regret it. Now, of course, I could go and just do it on my own, right? But there's no way to kind of recreate that atmosphere of my 2 buddies that have never gone before. If I went with my 2 buddies now, they already went once. It's not going to be as exciting, exhilarating because they already done it. They know what to expect. The best part in things in life is when you don't know what to expect. It's the uncertainty. It's the excitement of not knowing what's going to happen. That's why we watch movies. That's why we go to plays. That's why we go on experiences and adventures. Because even though we know the general outline, we don't know how it's exactly going to unfold in that exact situation in that moment. And so the stupid things that you think that are going through your head, that rifle through your head, you think are stupid, but it's going to result to a future regret. From not joining that jazzercise class because your girlfriends are doing it, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't have the time, it's going to be really pushing it, I'm going to come home late from work, and then I'm going to go there for an hour, and then, it's $100 a month, and, all that stuff. But you need to think of the things that you think are stupid to really negotiate with your mind and not the facet of letting it take control. You need to think clearly and precisely, and the question is, how do you go about that? How do you analyze these situations, Jake? I get it. Okay, when I think of stupid, I think of these 4 areas. I understand I can't allow the emotions and the doubt man to dictate my future outcomes because then I'm going to regret them. So how do I go about in making sure I make really good decisions when stupid comes into my life and I actually go for that stupid idea? You got to go for something that excites you, challenges you, and makes you better. Now, the things that make you better are also things that are scary, dangerous, and could possibly make you hurt, injured. From working out to a ski adventure to something physical, like doing a 5K or a marathon. But something that challenges you mentally is going to a conference, stepping outside your zone, talking to other individuals. And so the way that we go about it is nothing more than sitting down with a sheet of paper and you got a pluses and minuses. What are the pluses of the outcome of this situation? So I decide to spend the $200, spend my time, I jump out of an airplane. What are the benefits? Bonding with my friends, a new experience, being able to just share that with my family, a moment that I could capture for Facebook if I was totally 1,000,000% dialed into social media. A moment to have clarity to myself of knowing I pushed through something that was so scary for myself. And then you look at the negative side. Okay, I would lose about a half a day. I would spend $250. A negative would be I could get hurt. I could break my leg. I could die, right, I guess. I mean, if we're going to get really crazy here. But, there's a backup parachute. And, there's not too many people dying skydiving. But, things happen, right? So that's one you got to think about. And then at the bottom, after you list down all the pluses, all the negative, you got to write out basically future regret, yes or no. Future regret, yes or no. And that will dictate possibly the outcome of that answer. Now, to rewind our conversation, to rewind the clock, getting back to these awesome individuals that have changed the world in their own way. Yes, even Chris Rock has changed the world with his comedy because it brought joy to somebody that maybe was depressed. So you can think of any situation, anything that goes on in the world as a cause and effect. And you get back to basically the fundamental principle. These people don't plan, they take action. They don't plan, they take action. And some of you need that sheet of paper. Some of you need to list out all the pluses, all the negatives. Is it going to be a future regret? Yes or no? Yes, okay, 0.5, I don't know. And you got to talk to all these people, all that stuff. The individuals that absolutely make the impact in the world, they just go. They just do it. They take the action. Yeah, there is planning involved. Yeah, there is some research, all that stuff, but they just go. Because they know that they don't want to have that regret. They know it's going to be worthwhile. And they know that even if they fail flat on their face, they're absolutely going to grow from it. They're absolutely going to become better because of it. And that's how you and I live our life. You get in a car accident because you're texting on the phone. Do you think you are going to text on the phone next time? No, you're not, because you're going to grow from it. By this podcast, there are some things in here that you learned today that educated you that will allow you to become better than you were like a half an hour ago, if I'm looking at the right clock. And so stupid is sometimes we're caught up in the stupid, right? And we use it as an excuse. And yet there is so much more below that stupid that affects the way that we look at others and the way that we look at ourselves. We need to get past that. We need to embrace that. We need to go after that thing that we have been thinking about for a long time. We need to go after that thing that excites us, that allows us to be us, that is going to push us beyond our boundaries of comfort and notoriety with our friends and our family, and they're going to think we're crazy, they're going to think we're stupid, but we don't care because you know what? I'm doing it for me, and it's about time that I start living my life on my own terms instead of thinking about what everybody else thinks. Because if I'm worried about what everybody else thinks, I'm never going to do anything that fills up my own bucket. And if you don't fill up your own bucket, then what the heck is the point of living? I'm a prime example. I'm doing a podcast here where people thought it was stupid. I have no experience. I have no education. I'm wasting my money. You don't have the time for it. You have a family. I'm the prime example of this. And you may be too. But because you're not here in the room with me, I'm going to dwell on myself here a little bit. But it's the truth. This fulfills me. This lights me up. I love this stuff. It's cool. Like, I love chatting and talking about this stuff. It excites me. And I never think of this as an irritation, or I think of, oh, I'm losing time, or I'm losing money, or, I ever think like, oh, I don't have the education in this. No, I just take action. I do it. I learn things, I read books, I get educated, in different ways, and then I'm able to become better. But at the same time, I just take action and I just do it. Every single Wednesday, this podcast comes out for the last 3 years. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was living my life through everybody else's eyes of thinking this is dumb and stupid. Who are you? You never been a motivational speaker before. You never been on the streets. What do you have to tell people? You're not addicted to drugs or, divorced, lost all your money and stuff. No, very true. But yet, here I am because I took action. I decided to do it because it fills up my own bucket. And if for you, there is that thing that you have been thinking about, contemplating, and you think is stupid, other people think are stupid, but yet you want to do a 5-week meditation event, or you want to fast for 30 days, whatever, the most extreme circumstances, you got to do. Because the things that you do not do, the things that you think are quote-unquote stupid, that is your future regret. Stupid not act upon is future regret, 100%. And that is my quote, actually. I wrote out that quote, so I'm going to have to save that in my quote book here. Stupid not acted upon is future regret. It totally is 100%. And so you need to think of what do you consider stupid that you have been holding back. And because other people think are stupid too, it just kind of justifies your stupid idea is true, and so you don't do anything with it. It's about time you take action on it. Do something about it. Don't plan. Don't, think, oh, I got to, go through school, or I got to educate myself for the next 3 years to do it. Just jump in. Just jump in and do it. In a safe, methodical way, just jump in and do it. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you fail, and that's how you get better. And as my little guy, Nolan, he's 3 years old. He's getting a skating lesson with his grandpa right now. So I can stay home and do my podcast, and my other son is sleeping. I told him at the door as he was leaving, I said, what do you do when you fall? And he said, get back up. It's the simplest words, the simplest ideas that make the biggest impact. And it's easy for us as adults to say that to children because we want them to be better than what we are. And it's about time that we stop pouring all these attributes and all these quotes and ideas into younger generations because our life is messed up. You are here because this is Operation Self-Reset. You can reset yourself right now. You can start believing everything that I talked about in this podcast or all the others or all the books or the blog posts or videos that you have found in your own personal life, and you can act upon it right now in this second. Stop pouring it out to other people. Start living it within yourself. And stop letting stupid ideas from other people dictate on how you live your life. This is life. This is the only one we got. I don't know. Maybe we get reincarnated, and that's a whole nother topic, podcast, but I don't know what happens. But all I know is you might as well max it out now, right? I mean, the classic line, if today was your last day, if you're on your deathbed, what do you regret, or what would you think about? All that stuff. If you want to go down that slew, cool. But all I can say is this. This is it. You're living in the present. Your life is going good right now. You're listening to this on your iPhone or in your car or at the gym. You got clothes on your back. You got food in your stomach. You got food in the fridge. You got, things at your home, whatever it may be. Things are going okay. And if things are going really bad for you, then obviously by you listening to stuff like this, you're on your way up. But if you are one of the lucky individuals that have things that are going good for you, you are comfortable. And the only way to get outside of that comfort zone is to just say, forget it. I'm done listening to everybody else. It's time to live me. Because the individuals that are down on their last leg, that are down in the dumps, they don't care anymore. All they can do is keep on scratching and growing towards the top every single day, and that's what they do. When you got money, when you got food, when you got shelter, when you got family, when you got support, when you got love, it's hard to push it, right? It's hard to push that car faster beyond its limits. When you got nothing, that's when people absolutely excel. You don't need to be at the bottom of the barrel to get that momentum and action needed. You can do it for yourself right now, and it's about time you do, because there's millions of people that could benefit from your idea, from your new hope, your new wisdom, the new way that you shape yourself internally and externally, the way that you present yourself or your family, or the thing that you can give back to the world through a franchise or a business idea or an invention or that one thing that you know you could tackle, but yet it's stupid. So, in summary here, embrace the stupid, lean into the stupid, go out there, serve the world. I appreciate you. I thank you. And that is it. If you want to get in contact with me, reach out to me. My number is 414-550-4012. Feel free to tell me what you think is stupid and what you're going to act upon. I would love to hear your replies. This is my cell phone number, straight up. And also, too, if you are interested in my seminar coming up in September, Self-Reset Power. It's never too soon, I guess, to advertise, right? Self-Reset Power in September 9th and 10th here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. More details to follow. The website is not up yet, but mark it on your calendar if you want to join. I appreciate you. I thank you. And we will talk to you guys next time on Operation Self-Reset. Wait. Don't go yet. I know this is a little outtake from the podcast. And if you know anything about podcasting, basically you record it on your computer and you can kind of chop things up. I edit my own shows and I do everything on my own, unlike some other podcasters. But a little funny thing happened as I was recording this last episode. There was a track on my program that screamed in my ears as I was recording. And I wear these like a headphone mic set with, kind of the mic in front of my mouth. And when I was recording this, this huge, screechy noise screamed in my ears, and I screamed. And you will hear it here in a second. So I'm just going to play it. So this is me screaming because of a really loud noise. Ah, Jesus! So there you go. That's just me getting freaked out. So, hey, right? We all get scared every once in a while, and I thought that was just a funny moment. So I appreciate you. I thank you. If you listen all the way to the end, you freaking rock. You're awesome. Share the awesomeness with somebody that you know, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see ya.